Valley, California, and although I've never been to this town before, I know it like the back of my hand. It was in a very cool movie. Try and figure out which one. This way. So yeah, this is our first stop. This is the destruction side of the DeLorean, somewhere down there.
You're right, there's not much left.
Doc's never coming back.
It was a very sad moment when the DeLorean was hit by a freight train. So I don't know why we came here, it's kind of depressing.
What the hell?
I know it was somewhere down there because someone found a flux capacitor in the shrubs. I know this because that same guy put it on Craigslist and I bought it.
Doc Emmett L Brown went on to have countless new exciting adventures in his time-travelling locomotive. Well, not really. His wife Clara racked in much more money as a school teacher, so by default, the Doc became a stay-at-home dad. Yet, that's not to say he didn't manage to find new adventures in his lab.
Speaking of laundry, ever notice how socks sometimes stick together in a clothes basket?
Below that facade of house husband bliss, Doc Brown struggled deeply with his emasculation. Insomnia-ridden, he dusted off his old telescope and aimed it upwards.
When you're gazing at the heavens, the universe is a fascinating place. Stars, galaxies, black holes, red giants, white dwarfs.
And with that, Doc's sense of adventure erupted to the surface. Leaving laundry laying in the lab and dishes dirty in the den, the Doc was once again free to time travel.
It's Hill Valley in the year 3 million BC. That's smack dab in the middle of the Cretaceous period. What am I thinking? You can't reason with a dinosaur. They have a brain the size of a walnut. Greetings! That's me, Doc Brown, in the 1920s. Well, it's actually the me of the 1990s in the 1920s.
On to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where Doc Brown is on hand for the Wright brothers' famous first flight.
It works! Look at that, it works!
Where's Doc now? Looks like he dropped in on a speech by former President Richard Nixon. And boy, the Doc looks awfully tempted to alter time. Next stop, 1964, and there's excitement in the air as the Beatles make their first U.S. appearance. And there they are, Paul, Ringo, George, John, and Doc Brown.
Let it be.
The ultimate day tripper.
He then stumbled into Universal Studios,
It can't be.
mistaking the attractions for actual scientific endeavours, especially the E.T. ride. His recent travels awoke the scientist inside the man. Meaningful purpose cleared the fog of being a desperate house husband. The Doc would take charge once and for all.
Who needs a DeLorean when you got one of these? It was incredible. We biked over to E.T.'s home. This time, I was the extraterrestrial on his planet. It was out of this world.
Using government grants and misappropriated funds, the Doc founded the Institute of Future Technology, constructing it at Universal Studios. Lo and behold, tourists would wander in, mistaking the Institute for an actual ride, and Doc Brown figured them as
Time travel volunteers, I can give you your pre-flight briefing. There's a lot you'll need to know if you're to successfully cross the space-time continuum.
Despite the tourists experiencing Roman crucifixions, Tyrannosaurus Rex crushings, and Jack the Ripper cuttings, the so-called attraction moved along lawsuit-free for several years, until one day, some clown stole the land deed and built a circus there, leaving the Doc devastated. Never being one to truly appreciate her husband's wild imagination, Clara filed for divorce and married Ted Danson. The Doc was washed up, living in the gutter and selling out to cable providers.
Great Scott! I forgot to tell Marty when he gets back to the future, he needs to get DirecTV HD.
And making worse Microsoft ads than Jerry Seinfeld.
This thing's gonna take us to the past?
Haven't you seen the movie? Hand me that floppy. She's still pretty fast for an old 386. But we've only got 5 minutes of time travel. Why? 640K of RAM, I don't care what Bill Gates said back in 81, it's not enough!
Doing dumb PSAs.
In the year 2057, the last of the glorious rainforests will be gone. I've been there.
And the dumbest thing ever, he was in this rap video.
Where? Back to the future!
Doc, I got a job. I run the culture.
Great Scott, O'Neill! That's why you have to come.
Don't you get it? So listen to me. We can feel this is me. We can groove.
Come on. I'm sorry, but the Doc doesn't DJ. You might as well have Hitchcock directing romantic comedies, or bring in Hitler along to guest host Sesame Street one week.
Something strange in your neighborhood.
He then joined the Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters!
Oh, Doc, this is embarrassing.
I think the correct terminology is slime.
He was a shell of his former self, a walking caricature. But, thankfully, he realized just how much dignity he had thrown away. So, in shame, he sailed away.
Captain Emmett L Brown here, stranded somewhere in the Caribbean, searching for Jamaica. I set sail in the SS Clare.
But after an encounter with a shark, the Doc was once again washed up, this time literally, on an island. But he was finally happy and content, free to invent and imagine anything he wanted. The Doc lived out his remaining years utterly happy, making his final home on the peaceful island. As for his first home, here we are now.
Guess the movie yet? Okay, it's Back to the Future. Here we are at Doc Brown's mansion. Apparently it should have burnt down, but it hasn't, which is good. There's his garage over there. You know, I would swap this car for a DeLorean if there was one in there. Let's have a look. much luck. Guess I'm stuck with the old blue car. This might be one of the best places I've ever been, actually. I don't know how legal it is to park here, come to think of it. Onwards and upwards. Here we are at the Mcfly house, although I'm not certain they live here anymore. The fun part is driving down this street. I've always wanted to do that, because where we're going we don't need roads. Come on.